Hey everyone, welcome to day 4 of our 30-day messy draft. I'm going to be short today because I've got to jump into our Tuesday night writing group at 5:30. So buckle up. Here we go. Today I want to talk about keeping the pen moving, keeping the fingers moving. I want to talk about drive when you're writing, knowing that we're on day 4 and you still have 26 more days of writing. And so how does this pen, this idea keep moving? So I want to talk a little bit about some of the ways to do that. The first one I'm going to give you, and this is because you're practicing 8-minute timed writings right now. In an 8-minute timed writing, you're going to develop the habit of simply writing and breathing and writing. Because every time we breathe in inspiration, we receive. And every time we breathe in and breathe out while we're writing, images, if you see, are going to come, or ideas are going to arrive, or questions are going to show up. When questions or ideas or images stop is when we hold our breath. Sounds so simple, and you might even be thinking, there's no way in God's green earth that simply breathing is going to create words on the page, but it will. One of the things we are so afraid of doing in our culture is pausing and waiting. Waiting is different than hesitating. Hesitating is like holding our breath while we wait for something to arrive. Whereas waiting is just like I'm breathing and I'm waiting and I'm waiting, and I just saw a light bulb. Oh, and that light bulb now has a Hawaiian lei on it. And that Hawaiian lei is yellow, and that yellow lei makes me think of a buttercup, and that buttercup that I used to string together when I was a little kid, and I would hold it under somebody's chin, and I would see how the yellow, do you see how breathing and being with allows this next step to come, and this next wondering to come, and this next image that comes. And then my hand's job, what you just watched my mouth do, is to connect the dots with it just enough words that the image of the buttercup and all of the things that led there, whether they are logical or not, can be strung together. The hand's job is to string the ideas together. This and this are the idea offerers. And when we slow our breath down and write or type and allow images, thoughts, questions, sentences, fragments of poetry to fall into our space, our hand's job is simply to keep connecting the dots. So that's one way. That's one way that you can keep the pen moving. And again, the writing prompts that you're going to explore in this month are really, really going to help you to develop the skill of following. So one way to drive, weirdly, is to follow. And that's when you let the story lead and you just connect the dots. Another way to keep the words moving is I call following what shimmers. And so the practice, what this practice looks like is you might have an 8-minute timed writing, and you might write for a minute and then go back and just read what you've written as if it was written to you, not by you, and notice what words, how I call it, what words shimmer. And the way I see it is, it really to me is like words like across a flat ocean. Some words shimmer, like they catch the light, and those are the words that I will circle. And then I'll write from that word, and that word becomes the next idea. And so this idea of following what shimmers is a bit like stones in the garden. Like you are literally stepping on one stone or one phrase, one idea, and writing about it, because on that, once you're fully on that stone, oh, you can see the next stone, and then you jump onto the next stone and you write that stone and those words around that, and you let the story evolve one stone at a time. So that's another way that you can keep the drive going. Another way to keep the drive going is plotting, which is fantastic. If you're someone who can plot out something, then actually sit down, and if you have if the impulse is to tell the story of this morning's cup of coffee, what are, in acting language they would call this, what are the beats? What are 5 beats or 5 micro moments within that story? And you itemize them out. You're like, I did this, then I did this, then I did this, then I did this, then I did this. And each thing that you did, or each happening, has a whole description around it. It has a whole maybe internal monologue around it. And you literally write the sections from beginning to end. So plotting is another way to drive things forward. Another way to drive things forward, and this is going to be, just play with me here, okay? Come out on the skinny branches with me on this one, okay? And this is how I write. And so much of my work and so much of my, like why people hire me to do story coaching is I have a very strong sense of core when I write. So what I do is it's like possibility is endless, right? We could write about anything. That's a bit like that first prompt, like following what shimmers, following the what this connects to this leads to this. That's like chasing possibility, right? So that's wonderful, but without the core piece holding that possibility can sort of run away with you. And so what I do as a driver for me is sometimes I don't even know, like I don't have a phrase for what it is. I can just sort of feel like there's a feeling that I'm writing from, and maybe it's loneliness, maybe it's exquisite joy, but it's something very specific, and I will write from that and keep writing almost like I am turning up the heat, and every next sentence I write is hotter than the previous sentence, and hotter from the previous, and hotter and hotter and hotter, until the whole thing is like on fire, but it's always connected to this core. So the idea there is to play the amplification game, but always connected to this. Now, another way you can use the core is that you do play the possibility game, and you start following the tangent over here, and then the tangent goes over here, and then the tangent goes up here and over here. And then I go, okay, it's been a while. I better check in with my core and go, oh, now that I'm way over here, how does the core of what I'm talking about inform this piece? And so it's almost like writing like a zigzag. Like I leave home, I come back home. I leave home, I come back home. I leave home, I come back home. And every time I leave home, I can come back home, and there's new information here because I went over here and came back. It's like traveling. Like I travel, I come home, I travel, I come home. So that's another way that you can drive your writing forward. Another way to drive your writing forward is you can ask, so if I just went to the logical one, which is, well, what next? And then what? And then what? And then what happened? And then what happened, right? So that's a bit of playing the stakes game, like, and pretending that there's somebody across from you, and they're like, oh, and the stakes get higher and higher and higher and higher. The other way that you can play that game is, you'll never believe it. Really? Yeah, and then this. Oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Yes, and then this. And you're playing the game of highs and lows, highs and lows. Some are higher than some are lower than some. but everything is interconnected, and what you're playing with in terms of drive is this experience of dynamics. So I'm giving you all kinds of things here to play with. What I want you to know is that a blank page is only blank if you're not willing to play with anything. You know, it's kind of like, gosh, I mean, kids can play with a paper bag. They can play with whatever's in front of them because it's not about the bag. It's about what the bag can become. And the drive for children is joy, right? They're simply following what feels great with that paper bag. Like, what state do you want to put yourself in as you write that can drive all the stuff that you're playing with? Maybe you're writing a thriller. How scary can you be? You've just wrote this one piece. What could be scarier than that? Oh, how does that get even more scary? How does that get more scary? Right? So there's lots of ways to keep the pen moving. I would love to hear your ways. How do you keep your pen moving, your fingers moving? What is driving you right now? And what is filling, like, what's making all this writing feel so awesome for you that you just can't wait to come back and write some more? Let us know. Can't wait to hear about it. All right, here we go.